Well, coming on into the Saskatoon Blades room, I'm joined by former athletic trainer, now the assistant GM, that's Steve Hildebrand, also known as Hilty, or better known as Hilty, correct?
Better known as Hilty, yes.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for joining me here in
Welcome to our humble abode.
Thank you very much. Now I'm getting the full tour, so let's move on to the main area. You can kind of tell me what we're looking at here.
Absolutely. So this is our main dressing room area. We built this room, the whole project was 6 years ago. In here, obviously, this is where the guys get dressed, and Coach Woods comes in, gives them a pep talk. One of the big features of this room is our main feature wall, which is here. Now we have these sliding boards, which was kind of it was a unique thing that we put in ourselves that it's really worked. The biggest part of it is all the video cords go through the roof. So when Dean and Bob come in to do video, it's actually hooked up to the back, and then it just comes up on the TV here.
Well, now I'm joined by Bob Woods. Now you are the head coach of the Saskatoon Blades. Welcome to Saskatoon. Welcome back.
Thank you. It's good to be back.
Absolutely. Well, we're standing in this beautiful dressing room, and this is kind of your spot. So tell me the routine of what you do when you're in the dressing room during games and practices.
Well, a lot of times, we use these boards, and we have the lineups on there, so everybody knows who they're playing with. Usually the blank area here will have our notes for the games, so just keys of the games, keys to the win. And then on these boards, I'll usually put on the power play, formations on the breakout and also in zone. And then we use these boards too when we're getting ready for practice as well.
Definitely. What about that pep talk? Is that right here?
It happens right here. We do everything, but don't step on the logo. So I wander around the room a little bit. I'm always trying to make eye contact with as many guys as possible. And as Dino, his job's kind of watch the guys in the room when I'm talking, who's paying attention, who's looking at the floor, and usually you can see some pretty key things.
Absolutely. And why is it so important to have that open communication in a room like this?
Well, again, this is our home. This is our home away from home, and we spend a lot of time here. And again, this is where we're all together. And I love the setup of the room because everybody can see everybody. And you get some locker rooms where that's maybe not the case, but I think it's important to look at the guy across from you or the guy next to you and just making sure that he's ready and paying attention.
Perfect. Now here's the hot button question. You coached in the NHL. How does it compare, dressing room to Saskatoon Blades?
This locker room is NHL caliber.
Wow.
There's a lot of key things here that you'll see in a lot of NHL buildings, and again, we're very fortunate to have this setup.
Awesome. Now let's move on to these quotes on the wall because I hear you were the inspiration behind them. So maybe explain a bit what this core covenant is and why you thought it was so important to be up here.
Well, this is kind of the main wall that every guy's going to see, and the core covenant comes from my time with Bruce and Hershey, and it's something that we've had a lot of success, and we kind of carried it through everywhere we went. And if you read it, it's got a lot of key things in it, and it's what we believe in as a group, and what are key things and what are important to us. So I think if guys live by these things, they'll have success.
So you're saying, though the hockey's very important, it's also about the relationships you build on this team.
Oh, for sure. Again, team is everything. I haven't been on a team that's had success unless there was some chemistry and guys that get along and have the same beliefs and are on the same page. So this really is the key to what we're trying to do here.
Perfect. A wonderful message. Thank you so much for joining me in the dressing room today, Bob.
Awesome. Thank you very much for stopping by.
Absolutely.
This room itself, we traveled all over, and I've been in a lot of rooms, and it wasn't just myself. I was in charge of the project, but this used to be a big open storage area, and there was nothing here, and the building asked us if we'd like to move here, and Mr. Brodsky said, here you go. Here's this project, go with it, and we had, I think it ended up 35 different drawings. So when you do that, you have a lot of people involved, there's a lot of things involved. I think the biggest thing for us was, for me anyways, was making sure the people that knew, whether it was electrical, whether it was plumbing, I'm not an expert in it, so people that knew the building, I brought them in to go over the plans to see what worked for them and for us as well. So I think that part of it made it a lot easier for everybody. The dressing room part, and as we'll show further, it was a combined effort of all the rooms we've all been in and what we liked and didn't like, and we kind of got to make it our own. So it was a really cool thing that we kind of got to do. It was time consuming, but it was a really cool project. So all these stalls, we had 26 stalls in the room. We wanted to make sure that it was the whole concept of the room was an open, free-flowing dressing room. That was our main goal, and I really believe we achieved that goal. I know we've had a lot of NHL teams come through here with the NHL games. they just can't believe that this is a junior hockey rink, and some saying that this is better than their practice facilities. So that made me feel really good about the project. Obviously, with the World Juniors here, we had Team Canada in here, and they were just thrilled to death about everything that was going on.
Absolutely. And with this move into the new room a few years back, do you think team morale was also boosted by this?
Absolutely. I think when you walk into something like this, it's like, wow, this is like a pro-type room, and they feel very good as soon as they come here. So I think anyone we've traded for, anyone we brought in, our young guys, when they come in, and even their parents and family, for us, it's a selling point to them, and that we're going to take care of them. This is the way we operate, and this is the way we are, and we're going to take care of them for sure.
And you said individual too, because they each have their own stalls. And what comes in each of the separate stalls?
So everyone has kind of their own personal shelf, as you can see. We have shower bags for them, and then all their equipments, gloves, pants, helmet. Underneath here, we have the this is kind of where everything gets hidden, but all their bags and their stuff for the road goes underneath. Now we also have air vents that are underneath, which help create airflow.
Necessary.
So we don't have as many smelling things as possible, but it's something that, again, it was just when we were building the intricacies of the room, you have to go through every detail. And we feel after this whole thing, you always go back after a project, go, what could we do differently? There's not many things. We feel really comfortable about the way things went.
You know what, it looks great, it's organized, it doesn't smell too bad either. Were there any other big features you wanted to make sure you had with this room?
You know what, no, I think the room speaks for itself. I think now, being this is the 6th year, making sure that it's kept clean, and Graham Spikewater, equipment manager, does an unreal job. This room every day looks like this. This is the way it is, and it's an expectation we have as an organization. I guess I could tell you a little funny story about the logo. We ended up having the designer who did the logo when he first came here, same logo and everything, but he felt that the logo should look the same color as the stalls. So this was actually a tan color, the first logo was ever made. I promptly called him and said, this is wrong. Unfortunately for him, these logos aren't cheap, and you know what, they had to change it on their dime, and we had all the backup anyways to say, hey, this is the colors we wanted, but it was a funny thing when it came in. I was like, oh my God, this is wrong, and we got to fix this right away. So, because this was like the finishing touches on the room, putting the logo in the middle.
Draws it all together.
Right, and the logo on practice days is covered. So what happens is, no one walks on it, and it's a $50 fine if you walk on it. And we've had some people have to pay that, so never walk on a logo in a dress shirt.
Oh wow, I came pretty close earlier actually.
So you're
lucky. $50. I'm lucky I avoided that fine.
Yes.
Well, let's move on to separate parts of the dressing room, because this is only one section, right?
Absolutely. So this is our equipment area. We went with the half wall here, which is kind of it's cool, unique, and different. I mean, again, it goes back to what we were trying to create with the openness and the flow. A lot of guys, a lot of players will just, if they need anything fixed, just kind of hand it over the counter, almost like a sports shop type thing, So we've created a lot of storage with the drawers, and it really helps keep, I think, everything nice and neat and clean. Spike's area here, he's got his big sewing machine along with his little sewing machine, which he does great extensive work on. He's one of the best in our league, and I obviously working with him for a long time. He's a great man, and he does a great job. And this area, again, was created to have some openness and flow, and you can kind of see everything that's going on, and it really kind of turned out better than we thought. We did steal the half wall idea from the Edmonton Oilers, the way when they built their new room right now. So it was just something that we really liked, and it really helped create what we were looking for.
Oh, definitely, and probably a rapport between Spike and the teammates as well.
Yeah, absolutely. There's not a wall there, and everyone walks through here. It's a high traffic area, so whether it's saying hi or how's it going or hey, do you mind doing this, it makes it a lot easier for him to communicate to players and coaches alike. So
definitely. And what are some of those common issues that maybe one of the Saskatoon Blades would have to come and use the half wall?
You know what? Most of the time, it's just little things. At the start of the year now, it's like, hey, I need a different size helmet. I need this. Could you sew this? Do you mind doing that? It's really kind of a lot of little things that we try and make sure we got everything covered. but it doesn't always happen that way. So that way it works out really well.
Okay, perfect. Well, we're almost done, but we do have one more room. It's very important. That's the storage room.
Yes, and you know what? This storage room is what we call our mini sports store. We obviously run a very big budget, and you know, it's something that we want to make sure that the players are taken care of and in the right fashion.
Great.
So it's again, it's kind of jam-packed right now. Start of the season is always a tough time of year for storage because you have all this stuff, and to try and make sure we got enough area. When we built this, as you can tell, we were like, wow, this is great. We have all this storage. And now we're to a point where we actually have storage bins within the facility to just make sure we got enough room for everything. So we kind of are at a point where we pick and choose what we need in here and what we need to stay in the storage bins. So, but it's again, it's a great storage area.
We have a lot of faith in the system. So what can we find here? We can have shin pads, shoulder pads,
pants, sticks, helmet, gloves. We have all the new Under Armour shoes for the season for our players. We have base layer stuff, visors. All these here are all the trunks for our road games that are stored in here. All sets of jerseys are in here, so practice game jerseys. We obviously run 4 sets with right now, so it's we have a lot going on. Up top, we have all our new skates that are in. So it's very complex, and as you can tell, everything's marked very nicely. And again, Spike does a great job keeping everything organized.
Perfect. It's a hockey hoarder's dream.
Yes, it is.
All right, we're coming back into the main area of the dressing room. Thank you so much for joining us today and
no problem.
Showing me what goes on in the Saskatoon Blades. Is there anything you wanted to add about the locker room?
No, I think the biggest thing is an area that we feel it needs to be comfortable for the players to come into, and they're here so much. We want to make sure that every day they come in, it's a good day for them. All the quotes you see on the wall, I think it's something that they read every day, they look at, and we want them to feel happy and be a big part of this hockey club. And this is just one little thing that adds to that whole.
Absolutely. It's that blue home away from home.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, thanks so much, Hilton.
Thank you. Have a good
Appreciate
day.
it.
The people in Saskatchewan and Saskatoon are great quality people, there's no question. And coming back home, I haven't been home for a while, and you can just feel that the people love the game in Saskatoon and Saskatchewan, and then they follow the Oilers, they follow all the Canadian cities. But it's good to be back here, and they supported it well, and it's very well done. Well, anytime you get to be part of anything to do with the game, and you see what Rogers have done with the hockey and how they're really getting behind it, and they're taking over their shows and stuff like that. But it's good to be back, and you see a lot of good old friends that are here, and some old teammates that you've played against throughout your career, and it's just good to be back to see everybody.
I just think there's 2 traits that are really Canadian: community and character. And if you think of character, like even the Saskatoon Blades, if you look at the retired numbers, Brian Scrudland or Brent Ashton and his boy Carter, obviously Wendell Clark, Federico, all those guys that are retired. Bob Bourne used to love Brian Sutter from my hometown, kind of Red Deer. Character. And so that's one thing that I see. And the other thing, Blue Rodeo are here today, Jim Cuddy and Greg Keto, really as friends, right? They wanted to be part of it because they love hockey. And they understand that when you travel like we're doing, you're kind of reflecting Canadians back to themselves, which is a very joyous thing to do. So that's the highlight of it.
The Oilers always want to be part of anything to build the game, and it doesn't matter if we touch a small town of 100 people or we touch a city the size of Saskatoon. We want to build the game. We want to build it through the youth, and we have a lot of followers. But when we get it to the kids, and the kids love the game, and we enjoy watching them build their skills and get better and better, and hopefully one day they can play in the NHL.
23 years old and I've seen things that I wish I didn't have to see. And I don't wish that on anybody.
Vancouver, BC, one of the most beautiful places on earth, but aside from the majestic scenery and of course the harbor and the Pacific Ocean behind me, Saskatoon Blades have come here for the opportunity of a lifetime. Project Face Off, that began 10 years ago. It's a partnership between the RCMP and the Saskatoon Blades. It's all aimed at helping educate kids about the effects and the consequences of substance abuse. And as we're about to see firsthand here on the Lower East Side in downtown Vancouver, the streets of East Hastings, it's nothing less than a devastating path.
How much heroin would you do a day?
Not enough.
My first drug of choice is heroin.
If I had money and I was gonna go buy some drugs, probably heroin.
Project Face Off is a drug awareness program run by the Vancouver Police Service, the Odd Squad in Vancouver, and it's various major junior hockey clubs are involved in it, and they bring kids out here, walk East Hastings and deal with the drug addicts and the addictions. The kids talk to all the users and whatnot, come back and deliver a message to school kids in Saskatoon.
When did you first start using drugs? 12 years old. It supported me and my father's habits. So there's about $500 a day. No one should have to ever see what these eyes have seen. And if you don't want to and you want to have a good life for yourself, then just stay away from it.
People are not proud of it, you know, and you talk to them, and whether they say, or whether they don't want to show us, or whether they want to show us, they say, oh, I'm not proud of it, I don't want to show you. Or there's people that say they're crying in front of you and they want to change their life, but they just can't, and that it's a sad thing to see.
You should tell them not to do drugs.
So what's that done to your life? It's been tough, eh?
Came down here to just try to get high and escape some of my pains from my past, and it dragged on into an addiction that just became part of my life. And now I'm here.
I got a 22-year-old son. I see him down here sometimes.
Do you like seeing him down here?
Not at all.
Well, I haven't spoken to any of my family in a long time. I almost died twice in the same day last week. So 5 years from now, I'm probably non-existent.
It breaks your heart to see this, and you see it. You know, you can be desensitized to it. We laugh and joke about things as police officers to get over the things that we see, but I would never want to be so jaded that I wouldn't be affected by the things that I'm seeing out there.
This is my albino sweetie. Her name's Sweetie. This is Chubby.
And that's an albino?
This is her boyfriend. Yeah, she's albino.
I went to the hospital one time, right, and I had a couple of nurses come over and say, well, look, how come you're looking so good? I says, because I went on a diet. This is a very dangerous area, all right? I've seen at least, since I've been on this floor here alone, 9 bodies taken out. I'm not talking about patients, bodies. Drugs is a bad thing. No matter what the concept is about making money, always keep in mind it can be blood money.
Well, it was good that we really got to interact with them, and they were good to us for sure. And you know, you really get to see where they were and how they ended up there, and their life goals of, you know, maybe in the next few years where they saw themselves, and it really gives you a perspective. You know, a lot of people didn't really expect to be there, and now they are, and it just goes to show that, you know, the choices you make in life have certain consequences, and you got to do the best that you can to make the right ones. No, I think that's another part I'm really excited for. Go back to Saskatoon and even maybe my hometown when I get back home. I mean, just share with the kids that, you know, there's lots of things out there, and you got to make the right decision, and you know, there's lots of help out there for people. And I know for myself, just being here, I felt I picked up so much
knowledge just to share with kids back home, back in Saskatoon, and that's huge for me.
The downtown east side is everywhere in the world, right? It's a decision, right? It's a decision that you have to make.
So today we're thrilled to announce that Critters, Pucks and Paws 2, The Return of Spot, is going to be November 22nd when Swift Current comes to town.
Yeah, you know, like last year, to be honest, we didn't know what we were getting into. And then on a bone-chilling temperature day, we had almost 200 pet owners come with their dogs, mostly dogs, some cats, Eunice the pig. But the photos that we have here today speak to the fun that they had and raising money for worthy causes.
Oh, we're really excited to be a part of it again. It was such a success last year, and it just to raise awareness about the Blades and more so the rescues. There's a lot around town that people have never heard of, and they need a lot of food and they need a lot of medical care. So any money or food that we can raise to give to them, it makes a big difference in the dogs' lives. So we're really important to that. We love to give back to the community, and we love being involved with the Blades, because who doesn't love hockey?
It was just such a thrill. The new owners of the Saskatoon Blades bringing on all these new initiatives are just so wonderful, because my husband and I have been supporters of Blades for many years, and I mean, we're not saying anything negative about the old owners, but the new owners have brought a whole new outlook to hockey, and the games are exciting, and actually to be able to take your dog to a hockey game is, I thought, oh, it won't work, but we had such a good time.
It's critical that we get out beyond the walls of the rink and become members of the community and support worthy causes in the community. So it's all part of letting people learn about us and what we're all about and what we stand for. And we hope in return that they come to the rink and enjoy Blades hockey.